What's going on, guys? Oh my gosh. Another week. Another week. Another week has gone by since the last show. I literally can barely believe it. I feel like we were just here last week doing an amazing show. That was one of my very favorites, guys, that we did together last week. We co-created last week. So thank you for everyone who joined us last week. Melissa Benedetti was one of them. Hey, Melissa, how you doing, sweetie? And guys, I couldn't be happier to be back here with you for another edition of Mondays with Matt. So for those of you who don't know, my name is Matt. What's up, Eric Swanson? How you doing, my friend? Miss Lynette Mitz, how you doing, my dear? Good to see you. Guys, my name is Matt Schaefer. I am a transformational speaker and coach. I am obsessed with supporting people and making shift happen in their lives. That is what I do. I work with women who are looking to transform their lives and step into deeper layers of connection and love across different areas of their life. I'm super passionate about it, and it's something that I'm stepping deeper into this year. So I'm so grateful to have you all here with me, because this show, guys, Mondays with Matt, is one of the main ways that I serve the world. It's a passion of mine. I've been doing it every Monday night for my gosh, how long has it been? At this point, over 2 years. We're going on about 2.5 years, which is remarkable, and it's because of you guys that I've gone on this long. I mean, like, A, it's my commitment, and B, the joy I get from serving you, Liz, Helene, Mary, Keith, Bradley Reichman, everybody joining. Guys, give me a 1 if you're excited to be here. Guys, feel free to share this video while we're going live so that we can get out to more people. I love having more people on. The more, the merrier, because this show is all about energy, man. It's all about energy, and it's about the co-creative experience that we're doing together. This is not about me. This has never been about me. This is about me finding a way to serve you in a way that's powerful and that lands and causes you to take a stand for what's possible for you in your life. What's up, Michelle? How you doing? Melissa's here, Helene's here, Mary's here, Keith's here. I am so excited to have you guys all on because it's been a wild week. It's been a wild week in my life, and I'm sure for a lot of you out there, I've been talking to some of my clients, including Melissa. It's been a wild week for a lot of us. Give me a 2 if you have had a wild week. Because I know what's going on. Courtney Marie, how you doing, sweetheart? Good to see you. Wow, lots of cool people that I haven't seen in a while here on the show. For everybody who's joining, thank you for joining. Share the show if you love Mondays with Matt, if you love sharing this energy with the world, because I don't know that there's ever been a more important topic that I've needed to talk about than the one that we're talking about today. Hi, Danae. How you doing? Good to see you. Wow. And Gabby, what's up? So great to see lots of new people on today. This is awesome. I love having new people walking. So Liz, why was your week crazy? Tell me, guys, if you had a crazy week, give me a 1-sentence comment on how and why you had a crazy week. I would love to hear it. I would love to hear why y'all's weeks were crazy. Because guys, here's what I wanted to talk about, right? Is that last week, what did we talk about? We talked about why it was so important for us to stop running. To stop running from whatever we are afraid of. To stop running from our deepest possibility. To stop running and stop medicating and stop avoiding and stop escaping all the pain, right? This is something that I think human beings are conditioned to do, right? That path of least resistance and all the stuff that we explored last week. We got to stop running. We got to stop avoiding, and we get to take on our lives. And we get to take on what we're afraid of. And we get to take on everything that we are meant to face in our lives and in our world, right? Yeah, Eric says, crazy week, 3 radio shows and 2 TV shows. Boom, Eric out there crushing it, making some change happen in the world. Melissa's gonna do it all. Dang right you are, Melissa. Liz says, family illness and supervisor issue. Oh, fun, that's always a fun one. I love it, Liz. Well, it looks like you made it to the other side. Congratulations, because it's onwards and upwards from here. And guys, so this topic that we're talking about today, this is so important because here's the thing. Once we stop running, then we have a decision to make. What are we going to do next? What are we going to do next? When we stop running, we get to face what we're afraid of. We get to face the unknown. We get to face the stuff that triggers us in a deep way, right? And I think how do we have a tendency to react when we're going up against something that scares the crap out of us? I know from watching people in human nature that in human nature generally, when people are afraid of something, what do when they turn to face it? They attack it, right? They try to destroy it. They try to crush it. They try to conquer it. Right? People look at the unknown, they look at what they're afraid of, and they decide that they're gonna annihilate the thing. Yeah, Melissa, people do run, but then when they stop running and they finally decide to turn and face it, they do it from a space of anger and from a space of destruction and from an ego-driven space of, this thing is different than me, this thing is different from me, and so I'm going to slay it, right? I'm going to slay the dragon. And here's the thing, I would challenge you to say, I would say point blank, doing that is taking a low vibration. It's still taking a path of least resistance, because that's the common response. That's the common reaction. Declaring war on something, right? Declaring war on drugs. How'd the war against drugs work out? How'd that work out for the world? How'd that work out for our country? Declaring war on drugs, declaring war on poverty, declaring war on anything that we're afraid of, right? How does that work out? War doesn't work. Aggression, rage, attacking, trying to destroy the things that we're afraid of is never going to, it's never going to give us what we need. What's up, Mercy? How you doing? Yeah, guys, we cannot, when we stop running and when we turn to face what we've been afraid of and what we've been running from for however long in our lives, our initial reaction is going to be to protect and to hide and to attack, right? So we can be safe. That's the natural reaction. And I'm going to challenge you to not do that, because that's a reaction. Anytime we react to what we are experiencing, we are giving our power away. Anytime we react, we are giving away to a lower impulse, okay? You don't get to react. You get to make a choice. And there is only one choice. You get to choose love. You get to choose love. In every situation, in every capacity, in every area of your life, particularly the ones that scare the shit out of you, particularly the ones that are deeply, the ones that trigger you the most, the things that you're most terrified of, the things where it's the hardest to love, those are the things when it's most important, because any other way is breaking you down. Any other way is weakening you. Eric said it best. It's all about love, brother. It is. There is no choice other than love. Fear. Hey, what's up, Aaron Whip? How you doing, my dear? One of my clients, Aaron, is on. Melissa, my client, is on. I love it. Jesse Call, how you doing, buddy? I love it. Oh, phone, how you doing? Guys, everybody, give me a 1 if this resonates with you. Give me a 1 if you understand this, if you feel this. Guys, we have to choose love. Because here's the thing. There are things we can count on in life. There are things we can be damn sure are going to happen. You can be damn sure that you are going to encounter chaos in your life. You are going to encounter disappointment in your life. You're going to encounter anger. You are going to encounter rejection. You are going to encounter every type of chaotic thing out there in the world. Sometimes all at the same time. And you have a choice. You can react with anger and frustration and belligerence and everything else. Or you can make a choice and you can choose to love that thing. And this is not something that just applies to people in your life that drive you crazy, although they're a great exercise, right? Jesse says, if you can digest fear, then you can know love. Yeah, we're all so, and here's the thing, guys, is that fear and love are on the same spectrum. These are both two ends of the same emotional spectrum. So you have that same charge. That same charge exists either way. And you can choose it to be love or fear. I'm going to make a bold statement here. I'm going to make the statement I'm going to make is, and tell me if you can, give me a 3 if you can relate to this. I think the reason that we have been placed on this earth is to create and foster as much love as we can. I think that this world is just a giant love simulator. And we have been put on this planet to be a vessel or a channel to bring forth as much love and as much ascension into the world as humanly possible. I think that is the purpose of life at the deepest level, and that we get to do that through sharing our unique gifts, our unique voice, our unique energy with the world in the deepest, most fulfilling way possible. And at the end of the day, that is the deepest expression of love that we can demonstrate, right? Sarah says, one of my wise friends recently told me, I have time for nothing but love. And it resonated so much. I love that, Sarah. That is so good. We don't have time for anything less, for anything other than that. I love you too, Eric. Thank you for that kind comment. It's all about changing lives, man. And that is what I am all about. That is, I know what you guys are all about, guys. And here's the thing. We don't have time for anything other than love. I think it's American History X. Life is too short to be pissed off all the time. It is. Life is too short to be pissed off all the time. So again, when we stop running, we get to turn on whatever we've been running from. The fear, the anxiety, the unknown, the uncertainty, the resentment, the anger, and we get to address that with love. Whatever's coming, and this is, I believe this is like a Matt, Kyle Cease or one of his buddies, Matt Kahn said, whatever arises, love that. And I think Kyle Cease said that. Kyle Cease said something to the effect of, whatever's coming up, oh my God, I'm freaking out right now, and I love that. Wow, this is a terrifying thing I'm about to do. I love that. Because here's the thing, where can we embrace love? On what levels can we? Let's look at all the different levels on which we can embrace love, both within and without ourselves. The first and most fundamental component of all of this, the most important place where we can choose love is with ourselves. There is no greater avenue for you to choose love in your life than in yourself, than in regards to yourself. So how are you talking to yourself? How do you view yourself? There is generally no one that we are harder on, no one that we are more cruel to, no one that we are more unforgiving to than to the person that we see in the mirror every single day. And I know self-love, guys, this isn't a revolutionary concept that you've never heard of before, but it bears repeating because here's the bottom line. Until you love yourself, you are not going to be able to fully love anyone or anything else around you. And I didn't realize that. I didn't realize that fully. I thought I could go out in the world and I could help other people all while at the same time hating myself. Funny story, guys, no one's buying it. If you're out there trying to love on other people and support other people, but you have deep resentment and you're using loving others to try to fill a void in yourself, that shit ain't gonna work. People can see through that. You can't love others while you hate yourself. Chris Lee, a man who has had a profound role in my re-falling in love with myself. Thank you for joining us, Chris. I'm so happy to have you on the show. Chris played a foundational role in me rediscovering my love for myself. So Chris, I just want to take a second and thank you. And I'm going to try not to choke up because now I'm starting to get I'm getting a little verklempt, if you know what I'm saying. And Ernesto, thank you for joining us. Guys, so that's the thing. It all has to start with you. You have to start by loving yourself. And that's a journey that I can't take you on line by line by line. So if you got to hire a coach, if whatever work you have to do where you start looking at your thoughts and the stories you've created about yourself and what you're worthy of and what you're not worthy of and all of these different factors, all these different reasons you've decided that you are not someone of value, you got to look at that and you got to realize none of that is real. Just by virtue of you existing, you are worthy of love. First and foremost, from yourself. Because if you won't love yourself, Not only are you not going to be able to love anybody else out in the world, but how the hell is anybody else supposed to love you? Have any of you guys ever tried to love somebody who hates themselves? How does that work? How fun is it to try to love somebody who is perpetually in this victim, just like self-loathing place? It's like trying to throw energy and light into a black hole, isn't it? So guys, what do you think you're doing to the people in your life, the people around you who want to love you, who are dying to love you, but they can't? Because you don't love yourself. You think you're doing someone a favor by hopping up on the cross and being a fucking martyr and just in this whole, cycle of, well, I'm not going to talk about how crappy my life is. I'm just going to help everybody else instead of working on me. You're not doing anybody any favors. So choose love and start with you. Because once you heal yourself, once you get into a space of loving and seeing and understanding the beauty and the perfection that you are, now you're in a position where you can start loving other people and loving other aspects of your life. Am I right, guys? Give me a 1 if you can relate to that. Liz gets what I'm saying. Helene gets it. Nola, I'm so glad you're back. It's been a while. What's going on, girl? Carrie Wilkinson, how are you doing, sweetheart? Good to see you as well. And guys, so here's the thing. What does it mean to love yourself? It means to love the person that you are. It means to love the journey that got you here. It means to love your past. It means to love your mistakes. It means to love your triumphs and your heartbreaks and blah, 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 blah. You got to learn to love all of it. Took me a long time. I spent a long time just beating myself up about all the mistakes I made and all the self-destructive this and all the drugs and all the this and beta. Guys, you get to love all of that because that got you to the point where you're at right now. And that's a perfect place where you're right now. Because here's the thing, when you love yourself, you love the present moment. And that's it. That is the end of the day. We get to love who we are and where we're at in our lives right now because this is the only point that exists. If you cannot love, so we get to love what is. Have you all read Byron Katie? Have you read the work by Byron Katie? And her other book is Love What Is. We get to love what is. We get to love who we are in this moment. We get to love where we're at in our journey in this moment. Purely by doing that, we are putting ourselves in a space of expansion. Gabby says, look in the mirror and compliment yourself. Absolutely. I cried the other day because I looked in the mirror and said that I love me. Like I said, I love you to myself. And that was like looking in my eyes. That was a weirdly intense experience. What's up, Crystal Church? How you doing, guys? And so like develop a self-love ritual. Incorporate it into your morning routines. Anchor yourself in love and gratitude every day. And learn to love what is in your life. Learn to love where you're at in your life. We get to fall in love with our unique journey. And we get to fall in love with the chaos of it, the relative chaos. Because here's another funny little nugget for y'all. Chaos doesn't exist. There is no such thing as chaos. There is a larger divine architecture at place. There is all chaos means is that we don't understand the sequence of events that's swirling around us right now. But that doesn't mean it isn't perfect. So we get to fall in love with who we are. We get to fall in love with the present moment in which we're existing. And we get to fall in love with what is all around us. And realize that wherever we are and however we got here is absolutely perfect. When you can be in that space, now you're in a position to expand, right? You've stopped running, you've turned around, and you're facing what you're afraid of. And you're looking at yourself and you're saying, you know what? I love who I am in this moment, and I love you. I love this fear. I love this fear of the job that I'm about to leave, or the job that I'm about to take on, or the person that I have to leave. I love you, and I love you enough to let you go. And sometimes there's no greater act of love that you can demonstrate for another person or for an organization or for a relationship than to let it go, than to walk away. Does that make sense? Give me a 1 if that lands with you. Give me a 1 if you can relate to that. We get to love our shadow. Exactly, Liz. Exactly, Alev. We get to love the shadow and the light in our lives. Because without the shadow, there would be no light. I have learned to fall in love with my darkness. It's a part of who I am. It's not a part of me that I'm looking to crush. I'm not looking to dismiss and erase the negative or the fear in my life. We get to fall in love with all of it. No matter what is coming up in your life, choose love. It's not simple, right? So our past, our faults, our ego, our fear, our triumph, this is what I'm saying. Yeah, as Gabby says, your energy and mood is awesome when you love yourself and you are contagious. And here's the funny thing, Gabby, you're contagious either way. When you have a powerful energy of self-loathing and hatred and victimhood, guess what? That's also contagious, like a fucking cancer. Like a cancer, right? I want to be a continually contagious force of light and elevation and positivity in the world. And once you make a choice and you choose to love yourself, what would it take from you? And so this is the question I want you to ask. What would it take from you to love the people that have hurt you? What would it take for you to love your exes who have broken your heart? Or your father who beat you? Or somebody who left you, right? What would it take you to love all of these things in your life? What would it take for you to turn a corner and shift into an appreciation and a gratitude for the role that whatever you've experienced or whatever you're experiencing is playing in your journey right now? We're so naive and we're so arrogant to think that we're gonna have a full understanding and comprehension of why things are happening to us right now. Do you know what I'm saying? We have this naive assumption that we're supposed to know and understand everything that's happening to us. Guys, that isn't the way that it works. That's not the nature of the human experience, right? An act of God. Yeah, we don't get to be in a space of always knowing why things are happening to us and we get to be in a continual state of surrender and shifting into love with whatever is happening to us, whatever is coming up for us, and continuing to realign with who we are and what we want to create. So this is the Matt challenge for this week. Now that you've stopped running, now that you've committed to facing what it is that you've been running from in your life, I want you to ask yourself, what would it look like to love that thing? What would it look like to love that aspect of yourself? Where in your life would you do that? Melissa said it would take an awesome coach and take the gratitude with us and leave the rest. Exactly, Melissa. And you and your awesome coach, that's me. We're going to be working on that this week. Because we're all in a process right now. I'm experiencing this with a lot of my clients. I'm experiencing this in my own life. We're in a process of transition. We're in a process of evolution and surrender, and some old paradigms are falling away, new paradigms are opening up. There's a lot of unknown, there's a lot of uncertainty, and with uncertainty comes a lot of fear. Comes a lot of that impulse to medicate and numb out and run away from these uncomfortable feelings. I invite you to choose love. To choose love. Yeah, Melissa, we do know how to do that. We know how to numb out. We truly do. And Liz makes a great point. You reset, you refocus, you recommit as many times as it takes. And that speaks to a very specific and important point. The point that it's not like we get to choose love and then we're just beings of love forever and for always in all areas of our lives. That's not the way that it works. We get to choose love all the time. We get to choose love every morning. We get to choose love many times a day, especially when we get pissed. especially when the panic sets in, right? We get to continually be choosing love. This is a process. This is a lifestyle, because the one thing I can assure you is that life is not going to stop frustrating you. Life is not going to stop throwing you curveballs. Life is not going to stop disrupting what you thought was going to happen and what the plan that you laid out for your life. But what you can always do is that no matter what life throws at you, and no matter how you emotionally want to react to that thing, you can cut off and manage those feelings, and you can make a conscious choice to embrace love for that situation. That's it, right there. And with that, you will rise. With that, you will elevate. With that, you will expand. Because this is where I want to land this with you guys, is that love is the primary expansive force in the universe. You have nothing to fear if you choose love. What's up, Olga? How you doing? Monique, Jack Mancino. Wow, love you, Jack. It's been ages. Hannah Jansen, how's it going? Guys, we got love. If you choose love over and over and over and over and over again, guess what happens? You don't diminish. You don't stagnate. You're not a doormat. You become powerful. You expand. You become greater. Your capacity to loving is like any other exercise. The more you do it, the stronger you get. So that's the beauty of choosing love, is that guess what? It gives you the opportunity and the ability and the capacity to love more, to love greater, to hold space, to love more people and in more situations. How great would that be with your family? How cool would that be at your work, to have a greater capacity to love? And here's the one other thing I want to touch on that's so important, guys, is that when we love, we have to love without attachment and without condition. When you love somebody with an expectation that they're going to respond to you a certain way, or that they're going to give you some love back, or that you're going to love this part of your life and then it's going to shower, unicorns and puppy dogs down on your head, guess what? That love is not powerful. That love is conditional. That love is weak. And that love is tied to your ego, because you're loving with an agenda. That, unfortunately, guys, is not the way that it works. Unconditional love is the only type of love that is truly, that has the power to change the world. Conditional love that is conditioned and predicated on a response from another person, or a response from the universe, or a response from the lottery, or a response from God, guess what? That love is fucking weak sauce. That love is greedy. That love is not the version of love that's talked about in the Bible, where it's like love is patient, love is kind, that doesn't boast, it doesn't envy. Like, none of that stuff is actually love. That's when love devolves into emotional manipulation, right? And a mechanism of the ego. So don't fool yourself that type of love is real, because it's not. Like, your love for who you are gets to be unconditional. It's not like you only get to love yourself when you're in decent shape, or when you're making money, or when, when you're on easy street. That's when it's easy to love. When the chips are down is when you really get to see your character, and when you really get to see your commitment to love. Can you love yourself when the shit hits the fan? Can you love yourself when things devolve into chaos? Can you love yourself? Can you love another person when they stab you in the back? That's when you really get a test of what capacity have you created within yourself to love others. And I challenge you that wherever in your life you are the most challenged, the most pissed off, the most frustrated, the most triggered by a person, a situation, a job, a thing, that is giving you, I'm not saying that you have to stay with that person or you have to stay in that job. I'm not saying that, but can you love them? Can you love it? And can you be grateful for it no matter what you decide to do with it? Give me a 1 if that's something you guys can relate to, if that's something you're willing to look at, okay? We don't get to be conditional with our love. I love you, Gabby. I love you, Elizabeth Taylor, if that is your real name. That name doesn't even sound real. That's famous. Abigail wants a copy of this live. Oh, that's sweet. Yeah, I mean, you know what? I should probably do something with this one. But guess the thing, guys, we get to find ways, and the harder it is, and the stretchier it is to shift into love, and the more challenging it is, the more anger, the more rage, the more reactive we want to be about it. That's our greatest opportunity. So the next time somebody cuts you off in traffic, and you want to literally murder them because they nearly, destroyed your car with your kids in it, that's an opportunity to love that person. What would it take from you to love the person who's going in and shooting up schools and shooting up towns? I've honestly stopped watching the news recently because it's gotten so toxic. But guys, we don't just get to love people when they're being good to other people. We get to love the people that are murdering other people. And ask ourselves, how can we take responsibility for the cruelty that's happening in the world? And how can we be a force to make certain that it never happens again, at least not anywhere around us? Because we don't just get to love some of us, we get to love all of us. And I know that's hard. I know y'all have watched that Finding Neverland, and I know it's like, how can we still, a lot of us are asking, how can we still love Michael Jackson's music? How can we still love Michael Jackson? We get to find a way. We get to find a space in our heart to love the artist that he was, and to love the music he created and what he created in the world. Did he have some major stuff going on in his life? Yeah. Look at his father. It's so easy to judge people for their acts of cruelty or for their acts of insanity or whatever. And I'll thank you, Abigail, I appreciate it. But here's the thing, bottom line, you have no idea what other people have gone through and how it's impacted the way that they think and the way that they feel. And unfortunately, guys, a lot of people in this world are not conscious of the trauma that they are carrying around in their lives and the way it's impacting their behavior and the way it's impacting the people around them. But it's not up for us to say that those people aren't worthy of love. Everybody, including Ted Bundy, Michael Jackson, Adolf Hitler, all of the worst people in the world, and me, and you, and everybody else, was and is worthy of love. And I know that's a tough thing. That's a tough thing to wrap your head around. But here's the thing, guys. If we make the concept of love conditional upon a set, moral values, then we are bringing ourselves down to the level of the people that we're judging. And trust me, it's not something that I'm not sitting here, preaching this stuff from a podium as though I never judge or I never say, wow, that person's a piece of shit. Because, those thoughts do go through my head. My ego is chirping in my ear just as hard as it is any of the rest of y'all. And I get it. But I am always asking myself, how can I find love for this person? How can I respond with compassion to whatever they're doing? And that's the mantra that I use, guys, and I invite you to steal this. The mantra that I use is lead with love, respond with compassion. Lead with love and respond with compassion. No matter what life gives you, no matter what the people around you show up to you with, you get to lead with love to them. And no matter how they throw it back in your face, whether they love you back or whether they punch you in the face, you get to respond with compassion. What's up? Oh, hey, Sarah, how you doing? Oh, thank you. You like my white shirt? I decided to switch it up today. This is my angelic white love shirt as I talk about how I hate and judge people every day. Alev says the problem is, how can we spread out love all over the world? Well, Alev, I think that one of the greatest ways we can spread love is by being an example of love to the people around us. Be an example of love in the world that is around us, right? And that's really, we have to be really careful. If we want to do that, we cannot immerse ourselves in hatred. We cannot immerse ourselves in polarization, in all the demonization and everything else that's happening in the world. We get to be really, 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 really conscious of our energy and what we decide to take in and what we decide to give out in the world, right? So that's the thing I want to challenge you all is that, you want to be love in the world, be love to the people that you interact with every day. Be loving to everyone that you come across. That's how we create the ripple. Do a Facebook Live where you lean into this stuff. Show love in as many capacities. You have no idea the difference you're making to the people in your life, right? It's It's a Wonderful Life. That movie where he got to see a world where he was dead and what the world would have looked like if he had never existed. It was a nightmare. It was a hellscape. You have no idea how the world would be if you weren't here. And you have no idea the difference you could make if you were more loving out there. I don't know. I don't connect with everybody that I could, but I'm committed to doing it. I'm committed to being more loving in the world and to continuing to choose love as I continue on this journey of my life with all the unknowns and all the uncertainty and all the punches in the face that I've taken and I continue to take, because my why is bigger than that. The love that I have for myself is bigger than whatever hardships I'm facing out there. So guys, that's what I want y'all to focus on, is that whatever's coming up, whatever challenges you experience, as you stop running and face what it is that's coming up in your life, whatever you're facing, love it. And start with loving yourself, because without that, none of the rest of it's ever going to happen. Give me a 1 if you're committed to doing that. Can you give me a 1 if you're committed to doing that? I want each and every one of you to commit to doing that in the world this week, being a beacon for love, and just recognize that life is too short for anything else. It's too short for hatred. It's too short for fear. It's too short for anxiety. It's too short for running, frustration, judgment, all the toxic crap that we pour all over ourselves to validate and make ourselves feel better about how miserable a lot of us feel. Life is too short. Life is too short to give our time and our energy to that. Love and hate, love and fear exist on the same emotional spectrum. And they take the same amount of effort to bring into our lives. So whatever is coming up, whatever you're facing, love that. And I love you. So I hope if you guys this resonated with you, please share this. Let's get this out. Let's get this out to as many humans as possible. That is my commitment. That is what I want as a speaker and coach, is to share this energy and transform as many people's lives as I can. Because I don't just love everybody who's watching, although I do love you. I love everybody who may one day see this, which I hope is a lot of people. I'm not going to allow myself to, limit that, right? I'm not going to allow my love to be limited by the scope of, my current perception, okay? So let's get out there. Let's make a huge ripple. Let's be a force for love in the world. And I will see you next week on Mondays with Matt. Talk to you later, guys. 4s all around. Lots of love.